Hi, my name is Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. And so for today's movie, I will be reviewing Barbarian, directed by Zach Cregger, and starring Georgina Campbell, Alexander Skarsgård, and Justin Long. So anyway, this film starts off with Tess, played by Georgina Campbell. She is in Detroit for an interview, and she has decided to book an Airbnb in a very rundown Detroit neighborhood. And to her misfortune, although considering what happens on in the rest of the film, it's the least of her problems, she has double booked it with another man called Keith, played by Alexander Skarsgård. Anyway, they try to make a few calls, they talk, and they end up discovering that something way worse is going on than just, a poorly mismanaged rental property. I am very disturbed. Like, this film, I am going to need therapy. Lots of therapy. So, hyperbolics aside, let's start off with the good stuff. The cast is great. They're well fleshed out, all three-dimensional. And especially the AJ character played by Justin Long, he is really good. He's a sleazy character done well. Like, you recognize that he is not a good person. Like, heck, even he acknowledges he's not a good person at one point in the film. Yet you recognize the humanity in him. Clearly, he wants to be loved. He's willing to at least reflect on himself and think, okay, maybe I probably didn't do that right, or I did something really wrong. But he's his survival instincts are clearly fighting with his desire to do the right thing, as contrasted with Tess, who is kind of the exact opposite. She is a woman who wants to do the right thing, yet she also wants to live. Like, she is not, a dumb horror protagonist just seeking out doing scary things. The only time she ever engages with the scary stuff, it's only when someone else is in danger. Like, when she is first introduced to the scary stuff going on, she's like, nope, sort of ripping off a bit of a joke from, the film Nope. Again, she doesn't do the joke quite as well as Jordan Peele does it, but, it's still a funny joke all the same. The joke still has some mileage with me. Anyway, and so she's really good, and the film does put you in her shoes really well. Like, think when she's confronted with Keith, played by Alexander Skarsgård, like, should she trust him? Is he, genuinely a good person who does good things? Like, you really feel it, and also the horror. This film has some disturbing imagery. Like, I'm not just talking about gore, although there is gore, and when the gore does happen, it is really good. You feel, the sound design is perfect. You feel every slap, every hit, every torn limb. It is, every crushed skull, it is, ugh. And some of the kills, heck, even they come out surprised. Like, I don't want to say it, but a certain someone will die and you will not see it coming. The film is that good. Also, the film's location, it mines its Detroit neighborhood for all it's worth. It does a really good job of showing how it's not just the houses that are run down and mismanaged, it's everything. Like, again, the rental property, the Airbnb was double booked and it's clearly not well upkept. The police, though probably well-intentioned, they are portrayed as ineffective and, dare I say, apathetic to the plights of whom they deem to be crack addicts and other vulnerable people. And this is all well contrasted with what the neighborhood used to look like when, maybe not in its heyday, but when things were clearly much better. Like, the film has a flashback 4 decades prior that is done really well. And it does a good job of cluing you into the fact that it's a flashback without unnecessary verbal exposition. Well, there is verbal exposition, but it's organic verbal exposition. Plus, the cinematography. The film cinematography has a very ethereal feeling to it. It's almost like you're a ghost of sorts watching this movie of sorts, especially during the flashback when the camera's just sort of handheld, but it's not like rough handheld, it's smooth, it flows around characters, and yeah, also the film scares itself. There are a few cheap jump scares, but then again, honestly, at this point, it wouldn't be a modern horror film without cheap jump scares. I mean, thankfully, there aren't too many of them, and what scares the film has are really well done. And this film, thankfully, mines more atmosphere and just the dread of, there's someone else in the house, isn't there? The film does a really good job, plus it takes great advantage of its claustrophobic, dimly lit setting, with characters using very bad flashlights and their camera phones, flashlights to try and illuminate the darkness, and you fear what's lying in the darkness. It's just really well done. Plus, the film handles character arcs really well, and yeah, it's a really good movie. A really disturbing movie, but it's really good. And so, with all that in mind, if you, the viewer, are willing to tolerate some disturbing imagery and perhaps willing to shell out some money for some much-needed therapy after watching this movie, I will... thanks to great casting, great cinematography, and solid writing, I will be giving Barbarian 4 out of 5 stars. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. If you like this review and would like to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And for today's comment section prompt of the day, did you like Barbarian? Why or why not?